there's too much crap on my bench. But here's something new. G'day and welcome back to the channel. Now, I said I wasn't going to do too many more mini quad reviews, but since I got the Runcam 5, I've been really enjoying flying quads again, but I'm still flying a lot of fixed wing, okay? So don't get me wrong, I'm not going totally over to the dark side. And I thought, so someone said, hey look, do you want to review this? I said, yeah, why not? Why not? Always like to review stuff, so there it is. It is the GT200 DTS FPV racing drone. And I mean, as I say, there's a lot of these things on the market now. The market's flooded with mini quads, and they all claim to be the biggest, brightest, best, smallest, fastest, whatever. So I thought, hey, let's take a look at it, because one of the reasons this one piqued my interest was because of the name of the company that was sending it to me. Where are we? Here. Zonda Hobby. Zonda Hobby's Facebook page. There you go, Zonda Hobby. And I thought, Zonda, supercar, Pagani, woohoo! But I couldn't find a supercar in the box. But we'll see whether this has supercar-like performance. What's this say? Motor direction is reversed. On the lid of the box there. See that? Let me go up here. Why does it say motor direction is reversed? It's only for two of the motors. They all seem to work in the normal direction. Anyway, this, I get a card. Woohoo! Support. Support. You don't get that very often with a Chinese product. Comes with a book, racing quad quick start guide, and yep, shows you how to wire up your receiver, because it's not a bind and fly, it is a plug and fly, this one, so I've got to put a receiver in it. Fortunately, I have a receiver. This, I think, says Free Sky Electronic Company. It's a Free Sky receiver, not a knockoff. Ooh, or is it a knockoff? I don't know, because Free Sky used to put these in a nice plastic container. And now it's in a little, this is an R9. Is it? Oh, it's an R9 Mini. I've got another one here somewhere. I've got another 2.4 gig one, which I'll use. I'm saving this for long range, so don't worry. I'll put a receiver in it, don't worry. Comes with stickers. Yeah, not very good stickers. They're a bit papery. I like plastic stickers that I can put on my truck, and they withstand the weather and the elements. Right, what else we got in the box? Got some 3M stuff. Can't even spell 3M. And it's nicely packed, I've got to say, foamy, very good. I'm not going to unbox this, I'm just going to take it out of the box, okay? Yeah, look, it's all nicely stowed away in here. We've got a prop nut thingy doer-upper and then some tools and some wiring. Woo! This could be easy. What's this? This seems to be an alternative frame with shiny bits. Who knows? We'll find out in the fullness of time, I'm sure. I suppose I should have read the manual, but I can't be bothered doing that. Antenna, pretty standard looking piece of antenna. What is it? Don't know. Yeah, anyway, it is let me look at it. It is an SMA connector. Comes with an antenna with an SMA connector. There you go. Little bits of foam holding in the quad. Let's get those out of the way. And here is the quad itself in all its quadly goodness. There you go. It's quite nice. Very thick arms. I like that. These arms are super thick. There's no flex in that frame, got to tell you now. DTS on the bottom in case you forget. It's got a camera. I don't know, what does that say? Do you know what that says? I can't read that. Is it GWY? I don't know. Anyway, so that branding is pretty ineffective because you can't tell what it is. I don't see anywhere to put my new Runcam 5. Where will I put my camera? No! Oh, well, I'll have to figure some way out. I don't have a mount for my camera. Never mind. Obviously, this is the S-Bus connector. Plugs in. Will it plug into a Free Sky receiver? I don't know. I'll check it out and we'll see. Yeah, well, there's not much not to like, really. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Looks pretty tough. XT60. What are the motors? Ooh, shiny motors. Look at those. Woo, DTS. They are... I can't read them because they're so shiny. 2206. How many kVs? No, that's 2200. I don't know. It's got motors. It probably says in the book. I shall put it down here what the motors are, right? But they look, yeah, they're pretty spanking looking motors. They are relatively high kV because they've got quite a few windings on them. Or does that mean low kV? I can never remember. Anyway, yeah, they look schmick. Look very nice, those motors. I like those. Extra plates underneath here on the arms for reinforcement. I like that. And also to stop you breaking your motors when you smack into stuff. Not that I would ever smack into anything. What do we got? 2 sets of props. That's 2 sets of props. Thumbs up for that. I hate it when they give you either one set of props or they give you really crap-ass props. These props don't look too bad. What do they look? Are they polycarb or plastic? They could be polycarb, actually. Is there a brand on them? DTS props. Of course. Props are made by DTS as well. There we go. That's what you get in the box. It's not a lot, but it's all you need. Oh, I think I'll throw a receiver in this, whack it on the computer, set her up, we'll go for a fly. Got myself a, is it a Free Sky? Genuine Free Sky? How would we know? It's got the little logo on there. Yes, all right. So it doesn't come in it's got a QR code on it. Do we know if it's real? I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know. There we go. So yeah, I will throw this in now, attach the antennas, plug it in, see if we can get it to work. Okay, here's the first little bit of a fail. You'd think, what's the most likely receiver to put in a mini quad these days? Yes, it's a Free Sky receiver. And which one of those? Maybe the XSM or the this is a X. Oh, what is it? It's an XSR. Put an XSR in there. Yeah. So you think this would be set up to plug into an XSR, don't you? No, it's not. It's the wrong size. So I'm going to have to cut and splice the wiring to plug it in to the XSR. Shame. Come on. Free Sky, like them or not, they are the leader in this market. Put a Free Sky compatible connector on there so I can just plug it straight in, make the setup so much easier. One more thing I noticed here, these wires are plastic insulation, not very bendy, and that generally means that there's a tendency for them to break where they're soldered to the board. The wires that come with the Free Sky, super softy silicon, see? So there should be some silicon wire. Don't cheap out with the plastic wire. It's not a good look, because if the wire breaks in there, well, you've lost your receiver and you crash. Just sense to make from a great product to an excellent product. That's a recommendation I'd make to the manufacturer. That would be, as I say, put a Free Sky compatible connector with silicon insulated wiring, be a bonus plus. Now this is interesting. They give you an extra loom here. That plugs into the flight controller. It's got a beeper. It's got a connector for something else, probably the video transmitter. I don't know. What does it say? It says on here it is for something. Yeah, it's for something. Who knows what. And it's got a connector for Spectrum. See, Spectrum. So they've got a connector for Spectrum with the D-Bus, I don't know what it is, Spectrum satellite type receivers. And goodness knows what this is for, but they don't have one for Free Sky. Shame. That is a real shame. Now, they've got some antenna tubes here, just looking in the box of accessories. So we've got these tubes here, which this is kind of nice because you can see you've got the antenna mounts built in here. We can thread the antennas up through there, slot these, if I get in that hole, slot these in the holes. And when I put my receiver in here, they're obviously way long, but let me just pull out a bit so you can see the whole damn shoot and match. When I put my receiver in, you can see that the antennas have got somewhere to go other than the propellers. I like that. That's a nicely thought out little addition to the whole thing. What else we got in the box of tricks? There's that hex wrench for the things. There is a little Phillips screwdriver. Woohoo! And there's a couple of Allen wrenches, which I think are probably for tightening stuff. Now, just looking also down here, I noticed there are buttons for channel and band for setting the FPV. So I don't know that it's got smart audio. We'll find out when we set it up if it's got smart audio and whether we can do that from the transmitter. On the other side here, it's got some status lights and a boot button for if we have to reflash the controller, I suppose. And is there a USB? Yes, there's a micro USB on here for accessing the flight controller to set things up. Yeah, that's all good. One thing I've noticed here that they've run the wiring on the top of the arms. Now, it's really handy to run the wiring on the bottom of the arms if you can, because props can cut that real easy. If you have a really bad prank, I've seen ESCs chopped up, I've seen wiring chopped up. In fact, I have I think my original Shuriken here. This is a nice quad, the Shuriken. Where is it? Yeah, if I put this into shot here, you can see that this has got ESCs. But look at this piece of wire here. Look at that. You can see that red wire. It's got a nick in it because the props, sometimes, hard as it may be to believe, the props can get pushed down and they nick that red wire because it's on the top surface. Run them on the bottom as they did with the Copus 2. I think it was the Copus 2. Can't remember. Anyway, run them on the bottom and it's a whole lot safer. You're less likely to damage your stuff. Well, let's see, maybe they'll do that in a future version. And none of this is a deal breaker. None of this is a deal breaker yet. So far, I'm quite happy with this product. I'll continue putting it together and then we'll see what happens. Well, there you go. That didn't take long at all. I'm quite impressed how quickly that just threw the receiver in, sorted that out. And of course, the camera mounts on the top here. Well, I'm using the Runcam 5, of course, with the Runcam camera mount strap. I don't know how secure this is going to be because there's no it's just sitting on there with the strap. But obviously, I think that is the way it's designed to be mounted. I have put as much fluorescent vinyl on this Runcam 5 as I can get on it, but there's really not a lot of space. Don't want to block up the holes in the back because they're for cooling. So let's hope this does stay on. But yeah, all around, this is looking quite schmick. Now, I'll show you the feature. This is the feature that I love about this quad. When I looked at this, I thought, this antenna here, this is going to get broken in the first upside down landing. But I don't know, maybe I've missed this on other quads, but look at this. You watch carefully. Look at that. What a brilliant idea that is. It's spring loaded so that if you're going to come down whack, especially if you don't have your GoPro session or your run cam on the top, that antenna is hinged and sprung so that it moves out of the way. It won't bust your antenna. Brilliant. Now, I don't know whether that antenna is any good. It's just a circularly polarized antenna. We'll try it out. We'll see if it's not that flash. I'll put a lollipop on there, but hey, give everything a try. Now, setting up the system was a breeze. Just went to Betafly, tweak, away you go. Everything's pretty much pre-configured. I noticed I didn't have the current sensor on the OSD. I have set the current sensor on. I don't know if it's calibrated. I don't even know if it has a current sensor, so I don't know. We'll see that when we go and look at the flight footage with the OSD, I suppose. So yeah, there we go. I'm quite excited now. I'm just charging up a 4-cell battery. I'm going to be using the new, I haven't got one here, China Hobby's battery, 120C. I'm going to be testing a few of those, going to be reviewing those. So this is a good place to give it a try, see how it stacks up. So there you go. Before we do, how much does it weigh? Well, here are the scales that don't show the blood. This is the test. How much does it weigh? 433 grams. That is with the 56 grams of RunCam 5 and probably a couple of grams of the battery strap. So you're looking at something that's well under 300 grams. It's pretty light. That's without a battery, of course. So yeah, as I say, now wait for the battery to charge. Just going to have a little bit of a fly. We'll just do a nana fly and see how she handles. Got the battery charged, got it plugged in. Now, one thing I noticed, look, it's got foam on the bottom of the battery plate there, which is kind of good. A lot of these things you just land on the battery or just on a carbon plate, and a lot of the shock is transferred through. Foam on there, that's a good thought. That's kind of nice. Also protects the battery strap from wear. I'd like to have seen slightly more grippy rubber, so the battery's less likely to fly out in a crash. But hey, that's pretty cool. I like it. So finally, let's go and fly. Okay, I've just come down from, I hammered this thing, hammered it real hard, and that battery is stone cold. Like it's a cold day, but that battery is cold. It's not even warm. This is the China Hobby's battery. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with that battery. It hardly sagged at all, even under a lot of throttle. Really brilliant. So that battery and this quad's a nice little combination. But I've got a few more packs to burn. Right, there we go. And for all of you who are screaming at me, you've got the props on the wrong way around. Yes, I did figure that out before I actually took off. Part of my pre-flight, always check. And yeah, these are reverse direction props. So most mini quads usually spin in like this, but these spin out from the front and out from the back. That's a great idea because it keeps all the crap off your lens. If you hit a bit of grass or a twig or a branch or some cow poos, then it throws the muck away from the camera, not onto the camera. A lot of people are flying like that now. Of course, I'm old school, and I didn't actually, until I sat down and did my final check, I didn't realize that the props are on backwards. That would have been an exciting test flight, wouldn't it? Just, yes. If you've ever seen a quad that has the props on backwards, it's not a pretty sight, especially if you just power on and punch out on the first flight. You're going to have a big mess on your hands. Anyway, I did do a little quick test flight first with a Gens Ace tattoo battery. I said tattoo battery, and I found that it collapsed. Okay, battery's a year and a half, 2 years old, a 1500 4-cell, and it just, within seconds, it was the voltage right down to 13 volts. Whereas on my other quads, my lesser quads, you might say, it holds up reasonably well. So this is a battery hog. Now, I turned off the amp and the milliampere hours components of the OSD because it doesn't appear to have a current shunt. It's not going to tell you how many amps you're drawing or how many milliamps are left in your battery. You have to work from the on-screen battery voltage, which isn't such a big deal because that's what I usually work on anyway. It flies like a really nice, really quick mini quad. What do you expect? One thing that's probably going to put beginners off is see the camera angle there, the FPV camera angle. It's about 45 degrees, and that's the lowest angle you can get. Now, it's a nice wide angle lens, and the camera is very good, actually. I like the camera. It's very nice. It's a very wide angle lens, but it still means that you've only just got the horizon in view if you're landing. And so, you know, if you're a beginner or let's say a low hours pilot, you may find that a bit intimidating, and you can't wind it down anymore. You can wind it up further, but you can't wind it down anymore. So just be aware of that. But I'd say, yeah, I mean, this is actually, I'm quite impressed with the engineering and the quality of the build. It's a really good build quality. Things have come a long way since the early days. It just, it's solid. It's really nice and solid. And everything seems easy enough to install. And as I say, if they just change that plug for a FrSky XSR or something, then it'd be brilliant. But anyone with a soldering iron can fix it up. It's not a deal breaker. Love this. I'm going to use that sooner or later. I'm going to hit something. I'll smash my Runcam 5, and I'm just going to, the antennas will just bend back. Oh, brilliant, fabulous. So in summary, I'd have to say, you know, you won't be disappointed if you buy one of these. I don't know what the price is. As I say, always disclaim, this was sent to me for review. I didn't have to spend my hard-earned cash on it, but I wouldn't say it was good if it wasn't. There's no mileage in that for me. And there are no affiliate links in the description of this video, but I have put a link there to the product because I haven't heard of Zonda Hobby before, so you probably wouldn't be able to find it as easy if you didn't have a link. It's not an affiliate link, trust me. I make no money from this. I don't care if you buy it or not. But you know, if you got the money burning a hole in your pocket, you could do a lot worse than this. I mean, compared to what was the last free quad I got? I think it was this. Yes, look at that, it's horrible. And then that just completely died. It's stuffed now, completely rooted. This and that there is no comparison. The build quality on this is fantastic by comparison. Brilliant. It's well designed. It's well laid out. Everything's engineered. It's not just thrown together by someone who once saw a picture of a mini quad and decided they'd design one themselves. There you go. Now, if you've got questions, comments, put them in the usual place because I'll do my best to read them and answer them all. And there probably won't be many more. Actually, there's one more mini quad review coming. It's not a mini quad. I'm really interested in these what do they call them? Cine quads. You know, the little tiny sub 250 high resolution HD quads, and some of them are looking so fantastic. I've got one coming which hopefully will be really good, and I'll be reviewing that because that's the style I like to fly. I'm not bullet a gate freestyler. I'm not a racer. I like to fly sort of semi-freestyle, but I like to get really nice sweeping panoramic shots with a quad, but not a phantom. I like something I can maneuver between the branches of a tree or just scoot under a gate or something, but do it in a cinematic fashion. So when that other quad arrives, I'll tell you all about it. In the meantime, hey, you know, this is looking like it could become almost my favorite quad because it just does what it says on the box, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to break it anytime soon. And believe me, when it comes to breaking quads, I'm pretty good at it. So there you go, thanks folks. Thanks for watching. I'll leave you with some more footage from the Runcam 5 and from the FPV camera so you can see what it all looks like. And stay tuned, more videos coming on RC Model Reviews. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Thumbs up if you like the video. If you don't, give it a big fist down, big down thumbs if you don't like the video. Tell me why so I can make the next one better. Bye for now.